Get started. Hello, hello. We're going to go get ahead and get started. If you could find your seats, turn off your cell phones. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Madison Davis, President and CEO of the Brisbane Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to welcome you to our annual State of the City event. Tonight, we are excited to hear from Mayor Terry O'Connell, who will share with us an update on how the city is faring. I'd like to thank the City of Brisbane for partnering with us to host this event for another year. In addition, I'd like us to give a big round of applause for our sponsor this evening, South San Francisco Scavenger Company. And after the presentation, I will invite representatives from the city and the team at South San Francisco Scavenger to join me at the podium so I can present you with certificates of appreciation along with Mayor O'Connell. And before we get started, I would like to introduce some VIPs in the audience. Here from the Brisbane City Council, we have Councilmember Cliff Lentz and Councilmember Colleen Mackin. We also have Chamber Board members Christian Cabrera, Rich Borgello, and Jason Cranston. All of us at the Chamber support the work that the City Council and the staff do each and every day to serve our community. And with that, I would like to turn over the microphone to our Mayor, the Honorable Terry O'Connell, who will start the presentation.
I'm already dribbling things. So thank you everybody for coming out tonight on this stormy night. I'm glad that the weather held off and let us get our annual cleanup day done, because usually that's when the rain starts, is that weekend. So it was nice that there wasn't that impediment to our cleanup efforts for this winter storm season. Okay, I have to look around and make sure that it's changed when I've hit the clicker. So Brisbane started this year in a successful candidate search for a new city manager. We had the outgoing Clay Holstein, who had been phenomenal and with us for 26 years. And so we really had our work cut out for us to find the best candidate we could. And I think we did so in finding Jeremy Dennis. He's got a great team to back him up, but he's learning the ropes, learning about Brisbane, and we hope he has the longevity. We can hope for the longevity that Clay had, and we hope that he falls in love with Brisbane the way all of us have, because Brisbane, is really a special place. So I think he inherited a really strong team, and he's been building upon that and getting to know his staff and getting to know the residents of Brisbane. And I hope everyone takes the time to introduce themselves, get to know him, and let him know if there's some issues, problems, or things they like about Brisbane, and share that with him. "2024 has some things that we need to deal with, and one of them is the budget, as always. And this year, it's a complicated issue, but we had revenue. We anticipate revenues. When we approved our budget, we anticipated revenues of about $28,600,000 and expenses of $31 million. That leaves us with a $2.7 million deficit. And that's something that, because we had really strong leadership in prior years, and we've been budget conscious for the most part, and really worked hard 8, 9, 10 years ago to work on our retirement program and do a lot of things that put us in a pretty good financial spot. And even though we're dipping into reserves to $2.7 million this year, or anticipated to, we've maintained our great credit rating, which helps us with the financing of the debt that we have. It allows us to be able to go out for capital projects and to do the work we need to do to keep the city safe and and sustainable. But we are going to need to do something in the coming years to make sure that this isn't a usual habit to go into debt or into deficit spending. They hate it when I say debt. As you can see from this slide, approximately 50% of our revenues currently come from property and sales tax. Transient occupancy tax, recycle, and business license fees also contribute about 25%. On our expenditure side, keeping us safe is what really costs the money, where police and fire are 40% of our budget, and then public works, another 15%. So just keeping the lights on and our city safe is something that takes quite a bit of revenue. And of course, with labor costs and everything else, those continue to go up. So we want to keep a robust police, fire department, public works, and those things take money. So every year, the council and staff work together to try to find a balance between what our revenues are and what our expenditures are going to be. So it's something that is ongoing. We hope that when we have a mid-year review, that those numbers for deficit spending are a little less, but we don't know yet. I had asked if there was any additional figures for me to present tonight, and they said, no, we don't know yet. So time will tell, and we hope that they look better and rosier than we anticipated at the beginning of the fiscal year. Some of the projects that we completed, this non-exciting slide is of the street paving that was on visitation that I understand hadn't been done in 15 or 20 years. And so we've worked on that. We did the completion of the remodel of the City Hall Annex across the street from here. If you haven't been in, they're lovely new offices that house our management staff. That's where our city manager and many people that are not public facing are in that building. And then the other projects that we've also completed or that have been completed in the city have been opening the Phase 3 building and out at Sierra Point and the Caltrain electrification. The council and I were very impressed by the Phase 3 projects and their award-winning sustainability building practices. It's very cutting edge that they were able to reuse, I want to say about 85% of all their building materials were waste-free. And that's a big, big step towards sustainability when it comes to being able to build a shell of a building and have that little residual waste. The 2022 storms that took their toll on Brisbane and pushed our public works to the limit to keep us safe, we continued that cleanup and cost to do the cleanup well into 2024. I'm proud to say that with a lot of hard work from staff, that we were able to recover the $2.4 million that we spent on storm damage at about a 98% recovery from FEMA. Right now, we still have 2 projects that are uncompleted from the storm damage. One is the Quarry Road that had some subsidence and washout from stormwaters, and that money has been approved by FEMA, but we have not recovered it yet, and we've not completed the project. And then over on the backside of San Bruno Avenue, we had a slide that I understand we have commitment from the federal roadway or state roadway people. And that project is going to have about an $86,000 match from the city to be able to be completed. But that will help reinforce that area so that we don't have further slide damage on that area of San Bruno. And I did want to say that one of our residents here in town took the photo. These are the 2 ones I was talking about. Took the photo that helped us get the funding on the slide because we were going to be turned down for that, and we were able to get that funding because of the photo. Can I get a sip of water from my cup right there? Sorry. Must be the dry in the room. Thank you, that's better. So recognizing and celebrating our residents, from our Festival of Lights to the concerts in the park, the Derby, Brisbane celebrates itself in many ways. This year we were treated to seeing a rescue demonstration at the regatta out at the marina that was put on by the U.S. Coast Guard, and that was pretty exciting as long as you could sort of figure out what they were doing out there, but it was very interesting to see them come out and do that live rescue demonstration, and we hope that we partner with them again next year and get another kind of similar rescue operation because it was quite exciting. And then we also honored as Volunteer of the Year Peter Grace, who was our first posthumous award recipient. Peter passed, but his family was able to accept the award in his honor. And we will miss him. And he did so much for the city in the years prior. So we recognized him. As far as sustainability, we've been honored now for the 2nd time by the Helen Putnam Award for continuing our environmental sustainability and our commitment to the environment. This award was given for our building benchmarking framework, where we are working with our larger buildings, our commercial buildings in town, and we are measuring their efficiency so that they can know where their costs are going and what they're spending and how much carbon they are releasing into our atmosphere. So a big shout out to our sustainability manager and all the efforts that the city goes through to keep us on the right track to helping to fight climate change. Another thing that we are doing, and we have done for many years, has been committing to sustainability by doing active fire breaks every year with our fire department, with North County Fire. We have been working with nonprofits, OSEC, and our Park and Rec department to do restoration on the mountain so that we can help bring a healthy ecosystem back to our area. And we've worked on having a dark skies ordinance so that we can help with the issues that light pollution can have on our environment for both our health and for the animals' health and safeties, bird migration, and being able to see the sky at night, which is a wonderful thing. And I think that we're going to have a lot of progress moving forward as new buildings come in, and people are inspired to make the lighting changes so that they have a better, more soft light that still does the purpose of keeping them safe. We've also worked on having a plant ordinance, an invasive species ordinance, so that we can make people aware of what they should and shouldn't plant. So all those things we keep moving forward, and working to help our environment and our city. Another thing we've done is to commit at the city council level to protecting the spaces on the acres that we have purchased with various funds over the years, and to be actively looking to purchase more funds, to purchase more acres, so that we can protect them. And the council made a promise to go ahead and put land title restrictions onto those properties as we can get them registered where those properties can be saved in perpetuity. So right now we are working to purchase as many parcels that we can from willing sellers. And so we have been working very diligently to get a buffer zone to protect the habitat in the mountain, and also to give us an area that we can make sure remains wild to protect us from fire danger. You'd think I'd get better at this. This year, the city will be studying some proposed developments that have been brought forward to the planning department. As with all cities, we must give careful and fair consideration to any property owner's request to build on their parcels. Plans have been submitted for 2 large, substantial projects. One in the quarry, which is a freight forwarding concern, and another is towers out at sea, proposed towers. Both are proposed projects out at Sierra Point. We look forward to a robust discussion from the public with the owners and make sure that we get the best projects for our city as they come forward. Of course, there is also the long-term, forever on our minds and forever in the planning, on the planning commission and the planning staff's radar is the Baylands, which is the largest project that could be possible here in Brisbane because it's bigger than we are. And it continues to be a project that will be bigger than us. Another one of the things that we're going to need to work on going forward is sea level rise. If you look at the map behind us, you can see that our entire shoreline on the east side is impacted by sea level rise, potential sea level rise. And so we have initiated and are in the process of obtaining a sea level rise assessment to see where our vulnerabilities are and what kind of work we'll need to do to protect our different facilities. So that's something that is going forward and will be coming before the council and through staff to discuss and really get a idea of where we're going to be at in 5, 10, 20, 50 years and what we have to do to get ready for that. So I want to give a shout out to our chamber, both for hosting tonight, but for all the work that they do over the years. They continue to support our businesses, their work within the community, and that work includes making information available to businesses on what the current business climate is, vacancies in our businesses. They handle social events, fundraising events for our students, for scholarships. They also do a job, student business and in government, which is a job shadowing fair where students can learn what businesses do and what kind of work it goes in on a day-to-day basis. They're always also one of my favorites, the provider for our holiday stars. And a big shout out to Madison and her team that works so hard to promote business in Brisbane that helps pay the bills and keep our guys going. I also want to thank our council. It's a group of 5 people with differing ideas and opinions that come together to help shape Brisbane. And we work hard. It's sometimes a thankless job, but it's also 5 dedicated people who all have one slogan: do what is best for Brisbane. We may think about it differently, we may approach it differently, but that's the goal, is to do what's best for Brisbane. So I do want to say thank you to Councilmember Lentz, Councilmember Mackin, Councilmember Davis, and Mayor Pro Tem Cunningham for the work that they've done and the help they've given me in my term as mayor. So it's been a pleasure to be with you tonight, and what an honor it is to call Brisbane my home. We couldn't ask for a better place to be. Oh, there we go. We didn't always think. So thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions? She's ever hopeful. I said there'd be no questions. Proved me wrong.
I have one question about the water lines in Brisbane. I know we started over COVID, so that kind of messed up, and I think we did one part of King Road. I was wondering if the water lines are still, I think it was in our budget, to have all the water lines changed out since they're, 100 or so years old?
Well, I know that if I had the list of capital projects in front of me, which is probably on a 4x6 foot piece of paper, if we want to do it small type, there's a lot of things that are on our capital wish list, and those take money. And every other year we revisit the capital improvement plan to see what we're able to be afforded and what we can finance, because as a program, we use the funds for a project. We need to borrow again once we paid those down. So we keep a rotating amount of debt that's part of the debt services. And so that's something that we'd have to look. But thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, my name's Beth Grossman, and I just want to publicly thank the City Council and the City of Brisbane for all of your continued support of the arts here in town. There's close to 100 artists that live here in our town, and we have, this is going to be the 23rd year of the Brisbane Evening of Art Sharing, February 8th. Mark your calendars. I know, amazing. And your continued support of that. It's a great showcase of every year we show about 15 artists. And I think that the artists really give us a sense of who we are and our identity, and give us a sense of possibility and curiosity, and it really sets a great model for our kids in the schools of pursuing creative lives, whatever they may do, but that it's all creative. And so I just wanted to thank you so much, all of
Thank
you,
you,
for that.
Beth.
Okay.
So she doesn't have to get up and move the mic around. I also want to thank the council because I feel that in the last several years, we've had one of the most environmentally sensitive and aware city councils we've had in a very, very long time. And that is really evident in the dark skies ordinance, the support of the invasive species ordinance, the support of changing the definition of priority conservation parcels in the acres to encompass more parcels that are worthy of being saved and act as interface, and the fiscal responsibility about issues at the marina and sea level rise, and the sustainability issues. And it's not easy because many of these things are a delicate balance. And as we move forward, I know we'll have a new council, Frank, welcome. And I hope we continue to stand tall. We're a small city, but we fight hard and we stand up for what's right and for the environment. And I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Do we have anyone online?
We do have one person online, Jessica Aloft. I'm going to allow to talk right now. Go ahead, Jessica.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mayor O'Connell, and all of you for your hard work and support throughout the years. I just have a question about the developments out at Sierra Point. I know we talk a lot about environmental sustainability, but it seems like we're adding a lot of jobs out there without adding any housing. Similarly to the Ridge, where we added a lot of housing without any kind of neighborhood serving retail. And it seems to me to be really, truly environmentally sustainable, we need to be cutting down on cars. And if people can't live near where they work, or if they can't get a quart of milk near where they live, then all this other stuff kind of seems like, you know, it's just not as impactful. So I was wondering if we could talk about any kind of potential for housing out at Sierra Point or anywhere else in Brisbane to support all those new jobs coming in.
Thank you, Jessica, for your question. This wouldn't be the venue to do that. That is something that would need to be addressed through the city council or through zoning issues. And I can't say where that would be, where it's going to be happening, because I won't be setting the agenda. But it is something that we look at for sustainability. And one of the premises of what the development out at the Baylands is supposed to be when it gets completed, as a more holistic approach to sustainability and environmental living, working, transportation, all those things in a planned community. So I think most of our hope for that kind of development will be out in the Baylands when that gets built.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else in the audience or on Zoom?
Last and final call. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to turn this back over to Madison Davis.
All right, perfect. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming. And I'd also like to do a few acknowledgements, as I mentioned before. And I'm hoping maybe Caroline could help me out. I know she has the latest technology and can take the best pictures. So first, I'd like to invite everyone here from South San Francisco Scavenger Company to join me for a certificate of appreciation. If you wouldn't mind. And South San Francisco Scavenger is a big supporter of the Brisbane Chamber of Commerce. They have supported and sponsored this event for many years. It allows us to host this for you all, and They've also been had a big presence on our board and donating to scholarships and doing students in business and government every year. So just really want to thank you for your partnership and your investment in the city of Brisbane and present this to you.
Thank you very much.
And is there anything you'd like to say?
Just that we are very honored to be able to be here and provide our services in Brisbane. And thank you very much for this acknowledgement. And good job, Madison, as always.
So we'll take a quick photo.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. And at this time, we could probably do it together. I'd like to acknowledge Mayor Terry O'Connell and City of Brisbane. So Jeremy, would you like to come up? We give that to Jeremy. And this is for you. The City of Brisbane for hosting us here tonight, and of course for Mayor O'Connell for her address. It takes a lot of prep work to do this, and it can be definitely nerve-wracking. So I thank you for all the time and dedication that you put into your presentation, but also into all that you do on the Brisbane City Council. So thank you.
Thank you. And I'd also like to thank Carolyn for helping and doing the slides and getting those prepared for me. Thank you.
So we have, I think, still plenty of sandwiches from specialties and other libations out in the foyer. So please stick around, mingle, and have some food so we don't have to eat it all ourselves tomorrow. Thank you.